Well, let's do the discussions. And as it is, we have discussants in the studio. Make sure you join us. And we're talking about joining us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We stream there live and go search for TV3 Ghana. The good part of the conversation is that, well, issues about gold will never go away. And today we're having a discussion on the Aljazeera Gold Mafia expose and the president's demands for retraction by Al Jazeera. You would also remember in that documentary, Al Jazeera said he had made a contact to the president or the presidency. And he did say that as far as he could remember, he doesn't remember coming across the gentleman that's either the antagonist in that story, Alistair Matthias. But as it is, we'll see how it goes. And then also we'll all touch base with the issues of school feeding because currently caterers are on strike. And as a result, key stakeholders, including past ministers, those who were managing the program, and the Ghana National Association of Teachers, including the caterers themselves, are saying that something needs to be done about not only how the program is funded, but also what is paid the caterers, and then also how the whole structure of the national school feeding program is. Let me just introduce our guests in the studio for you. I have Benjamin Jewapia. He is with the communication team of the MPP as well as government. Thank you for joining me, yes, Benjamin.
Nice seeing you.
Nice seeing you too.
How's it been?
Oh, I'm well.
Growing up, I've been watching you all this while, so
right.
It's a privilege to be here.
Okay, yes. Great. I know that we're going to have a nice discussion.
Sure.
I also have the experienced Kwame Jantua. He is currently the chair for the Political Affairs Committee of the CPP. He's also a legal practitioner and then also an energy or extractive industry consultant. Thank you for joining me, sir.
Good morning,
It's
Roland.
a privilege to have you. And then also I have Dr. Samiaye. He is with the NDC's communication team. He's also a medical doctor by profession. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Roland.
Dr.
Good morning to you.
And I know that you say you love my outfit. It's by Ellis Couture. Mrs. Dinah Apau Adugu. You're in the Volta Regional Capital. And thank you for loving the outfits. My regards to the family, including your husband, Andrews. But look, let's begin the discussions and preface it. How are you?
I'm doing well, Roland.
All right. You know that it's a 4-part documentary.
Right.
Have you watched except so?
No, I have. I have.
Okay. And now the president said he wants a retraction from Al Jazeera. What do you make of it?
Roland, good morning to you and good morning to your cherished viewers as well. I want to say that the president is right in demanding apology from Al Jazeera. Because,
He's right?
Yeah, he is. He
in
is
what
right.
way?
I mean, Roland, you and I can vividly say that media houses also err. There are certain times that they make mistakes. In my hand, I have a copy of CNN issuing an apology to the Kenyan government over comments that they passed that Al-Shabaab, a militant group, Kenya is a safe haven for them. Later on, CNN apologized to the Kenyan government. I also have in my hand, if media general, a whole big media general like your firm, apologize to the Minister of Agriculture. So it must be established that sometimes some of these reportage or documentaries that we come across sometimes are false. And when you are humble enough to admit it, you apologize. In fact, Fox News, as we speak right now, Fox News, their #1 prime host, Colson Tucker, has been sacked and has been fired because of a defamation suit that they came across. So, Roland, it must be established that media houses also err. It is very, very important. In the documentary, this same Matthias, Alistair Matthias,
Who says that the president is his lawyer?
has no idea of what he said. And
was
it is
boasting.
on record.
He was boasting?
Yes, he was bragging. In fact, you know the former president, the late president of Tanzania, Magufuli, declared Alistair wanted in Tanzania. So he's known to be a bragger. Roland, you have been in the media space for well over 30 years. with your experience, you can have some unscrupulous people using your pictures and other stuff to tell people that, oh, they know you. Oh, do you want to see Roland? Oh, yes, I know him. Meanwhile, they have no idea where you live, whatsoever. But because they know you have carved out a very good reputation for yourself in the media space, they would want to associate themselves with you. Why was Alistair talking like that? People had gone to him that they want gold concessionaire. In fact, Ghana, what was our name before we got the name Ghana?
Gold Coast.
Gold Coast. So, to lure these investors, he said, I have a very good relationship with the president.
So he was just huffing and puffing.
Exactly.
Boasting.
People are well known in the system like that. Bragging. As I'm telling you right now, he's been declared by Kenyan government. He's a wanted man. Uhuru Kenyatta wanted this same man executed for some ivory and some elephants that some gang cartel were killing in Kenya. And Alistair Matthias was part of it. So this man is a known braggart, and I believe that the president, as he's saying, needs an apology from a renowned media house like Aljazeera. They have heard, like I've said here, media houses, big media houses like CNN, BBC, Fox, they all make mistakes. So if they make mistakes, why not? Like we always say, Sankofa Wonchi. They can go back and apologize. And this time, I am very, very happy that the president is very firm and has issued out a statement. This time, Al Jazeera is not going scot-free.
But is it not true?
It is.
That Al Jazeera, before they put this documentary out, did contact the presidency. And it's in this documentary that the presidency did give a reaction or a reply to the team that, as far as the president can remember, he can't remember coming across Alistair Matthias.
Well, it's good that we have a lawyer here. Lawyer Janto, I can tell you, he cannot vividly remember the number of clients that he has.
Or has had.
Exactly.
That's
so if the president is saying that he has no knowledge of this, in fact, his law firm, according to all the records that they have, as far back as 2000, the president has not been working, has not been going to court as far about 2000. So all these things that the man is saying, according to the records that the law firm has, they have no client as such. And this man, like we are saying, is a braggart. He has come, in fact, to deny all of these things that he doesn't even know the president. So we must take it like that. What needs to be done is that Al Jazeera needs to take up responsibility, just like CNN did to the Kenyan government. Fox has done to Kosun Taka. TV3 apologized to the media, to Minister of Agric. Because, like we are saying, we are not perfect. But when you make mistakes and then you humble yourself and then say, oh, I'm sorry, we didn't do it what we had, everybody will forgive you. So it's very important. What we are saying is that Al Jazeera this time goofed. They got it wrong and they need to apologize.
But Mr. Jantwa, there are key issues that we all need to take cognizance of. And that is, there is an investigation undercover that has been done. They reach out to the presidency. And the presidency doesn't do research over the encounters that the president has had over the last time or the last couple of years that he may have met people. And so then gives a reaction or a reply that, as far as I can remember, I have not come across Alistair Matthias or Maclister Matthias. What do you make of it? And this this reaction to, or letter to Al Jazeera, so to speak, that they should do a retraction.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to my fellow panelists. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to wish my mother a 93rd happy birthday.
Wow,
Happy birthday, Granny.
She's 93. Two, before I go to your question, do you know that there's an 11-year gap between the south and the north of Ghana where education is concerned?
By way of education or development?
Education. Just education. 11-year gap. And do you know there are 8 million people in Ghana who can't read and write? That's an indictment.
Fascinating statistics.
Now, to your question. First of all, this is a huge indictment. Somebody who is claiming to have exported between 40 and 60 million dollars worth of gold out of Ghana every month is a huge indictment. One. Two, this documentary was shown to the world. And in as much as the president has taken Al Jazeera on, he should have taken the individual on to get to the bottom of the matter. He being his lawyer or not being his lawyer, for me, is neither here nor there. Why? Because, look, I'm a lawyer. If a client brings a case to me and I feel I can handle the case, you cannot blame me or you cannot point a finger at me for taking the case. That is my job. It is my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. Am I supposed to defend or prosecute? And if you bring a case and I'm doing it, it's fine. So that bit for me is neither here nor there.
It's just red herring.
It's just a red herring. That one is neither here. Even if the president had gone to court and was still practicing before he became president, and that brief came to lie on his table, and he feels it's a brief he wants to do, why do we defend murderers? Why do we defend murderers? So for me, that's a red herring. It's neither here nor there. For me, what is important is the international standing of the country Ghana and its president. And I felt...
You think our reputation has been dented?
Well, what would other people say? Even in this country, we are going to use it in coming election. We are going to use it. And so, beyond all reasonable doubt, the presidency should go as far as possible to indict the gentleman. Show us proof that I was your lawyer, to start off with. Show us proof that I've been in this kind of transaction with you. You, the lawyer bit is okay because that one is a brief, but definitely you add it to it. But show me that I've been part and parcel of your scam. Remember, the operative word there in what the man is saying is he's a smuggler. Can you believe?
It's a swindler.
Yeah, well, in the right time, he says he's a smuggler. Can you believe a smuggler? Would you believe and trust a smuggler? Somebody who can tell everybody that I smuggle gold from African countries, and I work with
and he mentioned certain.
He mentioned certain. And
he didn't mention all presidents.
What's the word he used? Where he
Courier.
No, he arranges this type of thing for presidents and big people.
The arrangements where he takes 20 and then he takes 80.
Yes. Can you trust him? You cannot trust him, but it's up to the president to prove that what the guy is saying is wrong. So take him on, including Al Jazeera. Anybody who's part and parcel of him, take him on. If it's international court you want to go.
So you're saying the letter is not enough?
It's not enough, no. It's not enough. So if Al Jazeera apologized, then that's the end of the matter. We want the proof. We want the truth.
But why would they apologize if they know that?
Let's say they apologize.
And let's say they don't apologize.
But you see, this was a sting operation, wasn't it? Do you know what would be said in a sting operation? When, what's his name? Our own Anas does a sting operation. The people he does a sting operation with, do we know what they will say? Does he know what they will say? So why take on Al Jazeera? It's a sting. The cameras are hidden. And yes, the man might be a bragger and want to say things to make him, but it is proven that he's a gold smuggler. It is proven that he's made money out of smuggling gold.
And he mentioned certain individual presidents.
Yes, he mentioned.
Couldn't have been fluke, right?
It couldn't. Well, I don't know whether it could be a fluke or not. I'm concentrating on Ghana. I'm not concentrating on all the others. It could happen that, yes, he did all the others. But the Ghanaian president and Ghana should get evidence to show. Look, they can also do their own. The president is the lawyer. They can also go behind closed doors and do their own investigation of the gentleman. Start by, he said he exported 40 to 60 million a month. How did that happen? What was the evidence? Where did it go through? Remember, the vice president did say that he went to Dubai. This was in 2018. He went to Dubai and they told him that the official gold coming out of Ghana was 8 million, was it billion or million? $8 million. Was it billion? I've forgotten whether it's either billion, but it's $8 million. Our official...
Just don't sink.
Yes, ours was 2. So that's 6 million. That has been official in Dubai, but it's not official here. How did that go out? You need to investigate it. So it's up to the president to do some undercover investigation to prove and show evidence, first of all, to the people of Ghana that is not part and parcel of this.
Can we make conclusions that the president's letter and the way the presidency had reacted until this letter was written does not in any way disprove the allegations that were uncovered in that documentary? Neither does it also exonerate the president, right?
Well, it's a question of being able to show the evidence and do your investigation. So the president has written this letter. The next step is the president should do his own investigation to prove that he is innocent of whatever the gentleman is saying. Yeah, the gentleman can be a bragger. The gentleman could be lying. But you have to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that what he's saying is absolutely wrong. You're the president of the country. You headed ECOWAS. Has the president headed AU since his time? He hasn't headed AU, but you headed ECOWAS. You are a respected individual in the throne of presidents. And so it shouldn't be taken lightly. You shouldn't be saying, oh, okay, Aljazeera has apologized, so that's the end of the story. No, go deeper and prove to your people that you're not part and parcel of it. Otherwise, that stain will be on you till you die.
But why is a retraction just not enough?
Look, is he an ordinary man?
No, he's the president of the Republic. He's difficult to get access to.
Difficult to get access to.
Ideally.
That is one reason why being a president of a country is he's the first gentleman of the land. I don't think a retraction is enough, especially when you look at the quantum of money we are talking about. The quantum of money, $6 million a month. What will the IMF and all these people be saying? So Ghana, you can get people to smuggle $60 million worth of gold out of your country. You can do that, and you're coming to us for a paltry $3 billion. It tells something. It shows something that we have relaxed our monitoring and our security where this gold issue is concerned. Look, Galamsey and some of these documentaries that have come out has shown that Ghana, we don't need money from anywhere. We don't need money from anywhere. What the president said when he came 2016, Yetusikasu come the this shows it. This shows it. This is the real Yetusikasu and so come the This shows it. That we have all the natural resources in this country that most countries don't have. But we are poor. It doesn't make sense to me. When we have all the bauxite, the manganese and all that, and today we also have lithium, and we are poor. It doesn't make sense. So the president should take it seriously. Investigate that Matthias guy. If it's international, investigators you get to investigate. Investigate him and let's get to the bottom of it. To exonerate himself. Just saying that, apologize to, Aljazeera, it's not enough.
Retract.
Yeah, retract. It's not enough for me.
That should work, right? Retraction.
Let me say a very good morning to our viewers and my co-panelist and Yogo Sofuland. You see, my brother Benjamin here has demonstrated before all of us
That what?
that he clearly has not followed the issues.
I don't understand.
On what basis should Al Jazeera apologize? They are not the ones that made those claims. The claims were made by Alastair Matthias. Okay?
And published by Al Jazeera.
Exactly. Yes. When they made those claims, or when he made those claims, they wrote to the president, telling the president that
this is what we have.
This is what we have. What is your response to the claims made by Al Jazeera? And so, for me, the president's statement is completely unjustified.
What was the statement?
Do we have that letter?
What was the statement?
When you were
Yes, we have the letter, please.
my brother Benjamin, when you were talking,
I mean, from,
Please
from
display the letter
Aljazeera.
for me. Huh?
From Aljazeera to the president. Do we have that letter?
No, we don't.
Uh-huh. So how do we know he did that? They did that.
No, it's stated in the
It's a
documentary.
statement. Yeah. My
They
brother-
stated in the documentary.
Yes. Roland, I plead that my brother Benjamin here will not
Should not help
interject.
you. Don't worry.
He shouldn't.
I'm not interjecting.
No. When you were talking, I was here.
Please, let's be civil.
There were so
Okay.
many things you said that.
Well, you go on.
Please go on.
You see, before we can even interrogate these issues, we need to set a certain platform so that our viewers can follow the issue.
Which is what?
Now, what are the issues? You see, Al Jazeera is not just any roadside media platform or media organization.
Like,
They are, for me, they are one of the largest in the world. And they have averted their minds to every legal and ethical issue surrounding documentaries of this nature. Okay? And so they were in the known, okay, of the repercussions if they err on their line of duty. And so they knew what they were doing. Now, what did they do? They unraveled one of the most notorious money laundering
schemes.
exactly money laundering, gold smuggling criminal in the world. And the guy has been caught on tape saying clearly that he smuggles 40 to 60 million dollars of gold from Ghana every month. He says that because of his dealings with government officials, he's able to get contracts. Some of those contracts are to a tune of $100 million. Inflated contracts. And he subcontracts those contracts to other companies at a cost of 80 million. And he backs the 20 million in offshore accounts so that when the government officials need the money, he delivers it to them. So he saves 5 million and gives 50 million to the government official. And he says that the president is his friend and lawyer. This, for me, is the gravamen of the whole issue. For a certain president, a president millions of people have voted for, should not just come out with 10 statements that are completely untenable, statements that are unjustifiable, and so comical, to just obfuscate the issues so that it will end the way other cases have ended. And so this statement further deepens the suspicion many Ghanaians have had that the president is clearly involved and the president is corrupt. Because if you tell me that the last time you practiced as a private lawyer is 2000, so you cannot be the lawyer for the man, it is laughable. As I sit here, I'm a medical doctor. I can decide not to be in active practice. That certainly does not mean
You not take on cases.
that if I sit here and you ask me that, oh, doc, I have this, what do you think I should do?
You cannot practice. Okay.
Exactly. And so that excuse alone cannot hold water. Again, the president says that, oh, he cannot recollect being a lawyer for the criminal. Recollection is not the same as denial. Recollection is not the same. Sorry, not recollecting. It's not the same as denying your involvement or association with the guy. It's not the same. The people of Ghana wanted to hear the president say that indeed he clearly does not know the guy. He has never engaged in anything with the guy. That didn't happen. But rather, the president is telling the people of Ghana that he cannot recollect dealing with the guy. When somebody is cagey or sketchy about responses to claims of this nature, you clearly know that he's lying.
Oh, about how?
He's lying.
He's the president of Ghana, legal practitioner, well-experienced politician.
You should know that this is not the only time the president has been mentioned in corrupt deals.
How
The
did
number 12 expose against Anas, against senior lawyer Kwesi Nyantakyi showed. He said to investors that he can take them to the president and they will give the president millions of dollars in order to get contracts in Ghana. So immediately they go, they tell the president, oh, the president, Mr. President, because you spent a lot of money in your campaign, we are bringing you this amount of money.
Well, the president came out and said that...
you see, Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi is known in political circles to be a bosom friend of the president. He is one of the few people who had access to the president's house in the immediate aftermath of 2016 elections.
How do you know that?
The greeting.
Exactly.
The line of people who went greeting.
Exactly. It was on video.
Do you know that?
You see,
Please continue.
please keep quiet. Please keep
I
quiet.
don't
Please keep quiet.
understand
People are listening. People who are even more educated.
I don't understand some of these assertions.
No. People who are even more educated than us are listening. So keep quiet.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
So when he had access to the president's house, you and I cannot just enter the president's house.
No, not at all.
You need a certain level of proximity with the president before you can get to the president's house. But as usual, we swept it under the carpet. Just recently, another expose was against the presidency,
Which
the
one?
vice president.
Which one?
A minister of state was caught on camera saying that,
The Charles Edubwan.
yes, before you meet the vice president, you need to pay an appearance fee of 250,000.
So you're saying there have been litany of...
Exactly.
That makes it too suspicious.
It cannot be a coincidence. So many Ghanaians are willing to accept the excuse by the president that he has nothing to do with this criminal. For me, we are calling on the special prosecutor to immediately commission an investigation into the matter.
But the president, if you look at the constitution, cannot be investigated.
You see, the point is, the guy...
So you are talking about the action.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. This certainly cannot be a coincidence. Many Ghanaians will not accept it. You cannot just tell us that, oh, because you cannot recollect it, because you ended practice in 2000, you do not know the guy. It is certainly not true. And I am surprised that up to now, investigative bodies are not willing to commission investigation into the matter, or several of these scandals that have come. And for me, it's very, very unfortunate. I certainly I'm of the firm belief that the president has everything to do with the guy.
Well, the president says he doesn't have Dr. Now let's get an insight from that documentary, and it was a 4-part documentary. The first one did indicate a gentleman, and then also somebody who is also close to the Zimbabwean president, and another person in part 2, part 3, and the first, second part all mentioned Ghana. It was Aljazeera Matthias who did mention the president as being somebody he is related with because he is his legal practitioner. And the presidency says he was just huffing and puffing. He was just bragging, boasting. But this is an insight from that 4-part documentary.
For about almost 13 years now, 14 years.
Matthias offers to launder Mr. Stanley's money through his gold trading network across Africa.
Ghana, I do 1 ton, so I do $40 million every month out of Ghana. This region, I do probably about 500 to a ton again.
Yeah.
So I do roughly about 70, 80 million.
Yeah. So he talks about how much he makes. So if you take a look at all that has transpired, now the president wants a retraction. And then we have even Professor Frimpong Boateng's report, or it looks to be a litany of issues that seem to be coming up. All these, look, Roland. How does the president extricate himself from this, just beyond this retraction and then an apology that he wants from Al Jazeera? While Al Jazeera had been to him before they did the publication.
Look, Roland, we certainly have to know that the president of our land is not corrupt.
Nobody has said
that any malicious intent by the opposition or whoever will not wash.
Are you saying the Al Jazeera documentary
let me tell you something.
Was put together by the opposition?
I'm saying that Al Jazeera is a media house, as a media house, can make mistakes. And Al Jazeera, I have records of Al Jazeera issuing apologies to other governments for their reportage and documentaries. Roland, listen, this man that we are talking about is wanted in Kenya. The same Aljazeera Matthias who is saying that he has an association with our president is wanted in Tanzania. He's a well-known seasoned criminal.
He's a what?
Known to be bragging to lure people to give him money. You understand, Roland? Let's be very, very careful. Why was Kosin Taka sacked just recently from Fox.
You've mentioned that.
$787 million is being paid to the American government because Kosin Tucker, a media personnel, made erroneous mistake in his reportage. That must be established, Roland, that these media houses can also make mistakes. I am sitting here telling you on this big platform that Al Jazeera has issued a number of apologies, okay, to government and some personnel over certain documentaries and reportages that they've made. So if Aya is here saying all of these things, whilst we know and our diggings and our findings have come to conclusion that Alistair Mata is a wanted man in Tanzania and is also a wanted man in Kenya. He is a criminal. In fact, records from the State Protocol Department says that this man has never been to Ghana since the whole entire time of President Akufo-Addo's presidency. He has not had any one-on-one with him. He has not had any meeting with the president. So when we have such documentaries, like we always say, time and tide will tell. But what we want to assure the Ghanaian, the ordinary Ghanaian, is that President Akufo-Addo knows nothing about this documentary. Al Jazeera, like they have done to other people in past, issued apologies to countries or government officials. I know certainly they will come clear and apologize as well. Roland.
Just a minute.
It is very, very important.
Just
Lawyer, if you would want me to finish.
I just want to find something
Right.
out from you. Hasn't it got to do with the duration before the president became president? Or has it got to do with only the duration when he was president?
Then we are saying that per their records from his law firm, they have no such meeting with a man.
Has that been done?
Right, yes, exactly. It's in a report that, Prempe and Co. have no official records with meeting Alistair Matthias. In fact, Roland, this thing can happen to lawyer. It can happen to me.
No,
it can happen to the
don't say that.
No, I'm saying it can happen to you. But Roland, you know why?
It's the president. It's the president who has been cited by the
and I'm saying that it can happen to any of us, Roland. You've been a successful media personnel. Listen, you've been a successful media personnel.
Now, Ben, listen. Don't go there. Don't go there. Now, Ben, listen.
Meanwhile, you do not know any of these things.
Ben, listen.
You understand what I'm saying?
Ben, listen. Is the thrust of the issue not being that when Al Jazeera, after undertaking, if it's a third party that undertook the undercover investigation, came back to the presidency of the Republic of Ghana, and then posed the question.
Exactly.
These are findings,
Right.
like any ethical media organization or entity does.
Yes.
These are findings. For example, if I undertake an undercover investigation, or I have information that is contrary to the norm about any personality or any issue for which somebody is responsible, I go to the organization or the individual in question and ask for a reaction before I undertake a publication. That is what ethically is done.
Right.
And as far as the ethics of journalism are concerned, Al Jazeera came to the presidency, posed a very simple question. We have found out this in the expose. A gentleman mentions you. And the reaction of the presidency is that the president cannot have any recollection of having met the man.
The most sincere answer. The most sincere answer.
If the president had said,
Roland,
I don't know the man emphatically, there's a difference between that and you saying that I don't have a recollection ever meeting the man.
As a lawyer.
Because that's where we are currently.
Lawyer,
and that is the official position of government.
Roland, as a lawyer, you cannot recall every client that has come to you.
That is true.
And this is the sincerest answer that the president gave. That he cannot recall. He has met
Is it not because the
people.
president is not sure whether he met somebody of the sort?
I am saying that as a lawyer, he said that he cannot recall. And this is the most honest answer you can ever have from a lawyer. The president was very honest in answering such a question. When you say, Roland, I cannot recall meeting Benjamin Jiwapia or Aye, it doesn't mean you are in denial.
So I have
you
this.
Understand?
I have this from a very distinguished researcher.
We all forget this.
And he sent me. He says it is important to know that a call for retraction does not necessarily mean that a report is false.
Okay.
A retraction may be issued for a variety of reasons, including errors in reporting or new information that has come to light.
What what is the president saying right now?
Aljazeera.
That Al Jazeera aired in.
Why is it that the president didn't say that the gentleman aired by mentioning my name and that I don't know
No, because you have such people in the system. He is caught. He's unfortunate to be caught on video saying that. But you know, we have people in the system that go around
Which
to
system?
brag.
You mean around the
No,
society?
I mean in the world. You have people who are criminals. They go around, use people's name into all of these things. Look, Al Jazeera is not bigger than CNN. CNN apologized to Kenyan government over certain reportage and documentaries that they made. So it is very clear. Even Media General, you made a reportage on some smuggling of fertilizer in the northern region. Media General apologized to the Minister of Agriculture. So, you know, people media houses also make mistakes. They are not perfect people. That is what we need to get. These assertions or these documentaries, I know with time, Al Jazeera will come out to retract and apologize to the president. And I'm saying that the president is clean. All that we are saying is that there are some people in the system that have always and will always use other people's repute,
identity,
or position, or whatever it is to deceive people. Very clear. My last comment is that Alistair Matthias is wanted in Tanzania. Alistair Matthias is declared wanted in Kenya by the Kenyan government.
He's wanted for obvious reasons.
Because he's a criminal.
He hides away at offshore accounts.
Because he's a criminal.
Monies belonging to presidents of Africa.
And I wouldn't be sure.
How many countries do we have in Africa? How many countries do we have?
53.
So why? How come the only few were mentioned, including Ghana's president?
Because, you know, when it comes to gold, Ghana is the leading producer of gold.
So he identified gold producers.
He's a smart man. His purpose was to make sure that he get all these investors and their money for himself. And that we need to be very careful. Look, Roland, I'm saying this. It can happen to you.
Yeah.
You, as a very good media personnel, you don't know the number of people, even on Facebook, that are using your picture to deceive other people. It can happen to all of us.
Well, I've seen some
and that is what we need to be careful of. That there are certain
but if somebody
people in the
undertakes
system,
a documentary about identifying somebody who says he's me,
right,
that person will come to me.
But I'm saying not all the time. You do not get all of it.
In this
instance, unfortunate.
In this instance, they came to the president, Ben.
That's what I'm saying.
And the president said, I can't recall.
The sincerest answer you can ever have. Because
the sincerest answer should have been, or not.
See,
I don't know him. I have never seen him in my life.
As a lawyer. And in fact, it's affirmed in the report that Prepe and Co affirmed that they have no such record of a man where President Akufo-Addo used to practice. Yeah. So what else can we establish?
Great. Now, before you come in, just watch this piece. And it's also about the modus operandi, the way he describes it. You know, the essence of undercover reporting is to get the people and the subject in their natural states and their behavioral pattern that is exhibited and caught on tape.
In their body language.
Exactly, because if it's not your habits, you will not
exhibit language exactly. How you say
now, Alistair Matthias, and then when I come back, I'll ask you. You look at that, and then the president's reaction to Al Jazeera when that question was posed. If he had posed it differently, would we have been where we are currently? So we'll get the audio for you.
Roland, we saw the audio initially. You know, when somebody is used to saying things in a certain way, they show ultimate confidence in the way they say it. Now, it's up to you to decipher whether what he's saying is true or isn't true. In that particular scenario, what are they discussing? They're discussing gold. And they know him to be a gold dealer. And so, knowing him to be a gold dealer and what he's saying, they would take some truth from it. But Al Jazeera, the questions, the way they ask their question, for me, would give the kind of response the president gave, I would have expected, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'd have expected the first question they would ask is whether, Mr. President, you know a gentleman called Alistair Matthias. I thought that would be the first question. On that first question, he would either say yes or I don't know him at all. The second question, he has claimed that you are his lawyer. Then he can say, I don't recollect that this man has ever been my client. And the president could have gone on to say, I give you the authority to go to my law chambers and find out from my law chambers at the time I was practicing whether this gentleman was handled by the law chambers. So that, from that point, you see some transparency. And the question here is he not? Is he not? That is where the problem is. What the president is it true? Isn't it true? Is it true? Isn't it true? Because the president himself hasn't been able to clarify to the last letter. That is why it's important that they do their own investigation to clear him, because he's been accused. We know the guy is a gold smuggler.
Yeah. He even has a business in Ghana, gold dressed. So it's not as if he doesn't know the environment.
So if he has a business in Ghana, this is why I'm saying the investigation is important. If he has a business in Ghana, we need to go to the Registrar Generals, see his, the form that you fill to register the types of businesses he are doing. Let's go find out that. Let's trace the kind of businesses he's done. Let's find out when he came into the country. Let's find out who he's been dealing with in the country. Let's find out who does he buy the gold from. All this needs to be done. And I expect that the president would have put this in place and not just left it at the door of Al Jazeera to what? Retract. You see, that is where the suspicion comes in, whether he is or he is not. And as a president, when things like this come up, you should be clear by doing your own investigation.
What do you think when the question was posed to him should have been his response, or the president's response?
I think there should have been two questions posed to him. First of all, because when you're in law court,
No, I mean the question from the Al Jazeera team before the publication.
I'm saying when you're in a law court and there's
because they asked, do you know the gentleman?
There's an accused,
or this is what he said.
There's an accused person there who has smuggled gold, and the guy is in the dock. The first thing they'll ask you, do you know this gentleman called Alistair Matthias? That's the first question they ask you, to establish if there is some kind of relationship. You can say, I know the gentleman by reading some papers, or I've seen the gentleman on a documentary. Oh yes, I know this gentleman. Then they'll ask, do you know what he does? Well, I know him to be a gold smuggler or a gold dealer. Then the questions now come on. So I expected, even though Al Jazeera didn't ask that first question, the president should also have said
that I know him?
No, the president have said, I don't recollect ever handling a brief for this gentleman. But I would also want to tell you, I do not know him. I have never met him. I do not even know the name Alistair Matthias. This is the first time I'm hearing of it.
That makes him more precise.
It makes him more precise. Did he do that?
Do you think that is the problem that is hanging around the neck of the president, to which the Al Jazeera team took that as sacrosanct and said, okay, for the subject who is at the middle of this investigation, this is his reaction. And so they took Alistair Matthias' content and published the reaction of the presidency.
Yes.
And that makes it quite an ethical way.
Because it's not only the fact that the president has been his lawyer before, but it's also the fact that, have you done any kind of transaction with him before, apart from him, you being his lawyer? So is it possible that the president has done in the past some gold transaction with this gentleman, although he hasn't retracted? He hasn't retracted though whether he knows him or not. He's just said, I do not recollect handling anything where this gentleman is concerned. So there is more for the president to come out with so that at least, prima facie, his name is in the eyes of Ghanaians is clear to some extent.
Well,
and then
if Al Jazeera does retract and apologize, that'll be it.
No.
There's clearance. No, you're not coming. No, Ben, relax. You. So you just let. Please note it down. Ben.
You see,
Ben.
Roland,
Ben.
let me make it clear to everyone listening to us that today my brother Benjamin has failed to prove to our viewers
That
reason why Al Jazeera should retract their documentary.
What do you mean by
retract
that?
and apologize. He has never been able to. No. Keep quiet. Keep quiet.
You have your turn after this. After this, we have a last one.
Keep quiet.
Ben, relax.
You go on.
When we were talking,
Go on.
it is clear
Why are the two of you
that the
exchanging words?
statements made or the documentary were statements made by Lester Mathieu. They were not statements made by Al Jazeera. So on what basis should Al Jazeera retract and apologize? They did the honorable thing by writing to the president for the president to tell the whole country
That's true.
his view or his response to the claims made by Lester Mathieu. So why should he retract? So my brother is just rehashing retract because it is the heading of the president's statement, not because he knows the reason why the retraction should come. Number two.
Have you read the letter?
Yes, I've read extensively. Number two, the president has lied.
Oh, no, you can't say that.
The president has lied.
What do you mean by he has
Ghana?
lied? By what?
Alistair Matthias was arrested in 2014 in Ghana.
Yes, true.
Do you know his lawyer? Justice Yoni Kulendi.
It's not true. It's Mustafa Bande, your deputy general secretary. It's Mustafa Bande. It's here.
All right, now let's get this excerpt to cool tempers down. Please bring them some water. Now we'll give you that excerpt of that documentary, Benjamin, relax.
Economic tenders, construction of roads, procurements, buying different things, oil, this and there, all the politicians get taken care of indirectly, which is what allows me to do all my other stuff freely.
So the government contracts is the way you reward the politicians, basically.
So what happens? Government will give me a contract. There's a lot of commissions involved. You want a commission, you want a commission.
Commissions in international laws of anti-corruption is basically synonymous with bribery. So when he says commissions, I hear bribes.
The second oldest. See, if you're an politician and you do a contract, you're not going to tell the whole world you're getting 10%. No one can know. But you trust me, so you say, I'll keep it with you.
Matthias acts as a bank for corrupt leaders.
I earn the commission for them. Then it's a matter of they tell me, okay, pay that, move it here, move there. So for example, Ghana government, Matthias Holding, I get the contract. I subcontract it to you. $100 million contract, Ghana government pays me $100 million. I give it to you and you say it's $80 million.
The contract is inflated $20 million above its real cost.
If I have an agreement with that, and you get 15. So now it's probably $5 million.
Matthias banks the $15 million for the corrupt politicians until they need it.
It's like all of it at once. And wherever they want it, serve me as a.
So that's him. He's familiar with the country, and so you see, he's free and he's talking. But at the end of it, the president said to Richard,
let me continue. My brother Benjamin here does not even know that Mustafa Bande is not a lawyer. He is not a lawyer. So how when keep quiet. You don't know him. You don't even know him. So keep quiet. Keep quiet. Mustafa is not a lawyer.
Okay.
So you have lied. Again, the president has lied.
How?
Do you know why? When Alester was arrested in 2004, do you know his lawyer? Justice Yoni Kulendi. He is now in the Supreme Court.
Before then,
exactly.
lawyer.
Who is Justice Yoni Kulendi to President Akufo-Addo? the President Kufuor has openly stated that Justice Yoni Kulendi is his protege. He trained him.
Okay.
So what does that mean? What does that got to do
enough
with
of
this
that.
discussion? What has that got to do with this discussion?
Where
Ben,
was
Ben.
Justice Yoni Kulendi?
Don't let him get to you.
Justice Yoni Kulendi worked in President Kufuor's law firm.
And so what?
Thank you.
And so the president cannot tell the people that he certainly does not know Aljazeera Matthias.
Look,
it is a fact. You see, the more reason why we should even be worried about this documentary is how notorious and how wanted the guy is around Africa. How can such a notorious person is confident enough to tell the people of Ghana that he is friends with the president and the president is his lawyer? You see, that is the issue. A lot of Ghanaians cannot trust the president because of the number of times he has been mentioned in scandals.
That makes it suspicious, you see.
The president should have told the people of Ghana that, one, the guy has never won any contract in Ghana. He should tell us that he has never won any contract to a tune of $100 million so that the people of Ghana can have confidence in the president that indeed the very man we killed to vote for has not soiled his integrity, but rather the president engages in very cagey excuses to obfuscate the matter and make it worse. It is very, very unfortunate. And so I want my brother here to apologize.
Apologize
for mentioning
for what?
One, Mr. Mustafa Agbande as a lawyer. Mr. Agbande is not a lawyer. You don't even know he's a lawyer.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You don't know. He's not a lawyer. He's not a lawyer.
So what do you mean he's not a lawyer?
He's not a lawyer. He's not a lawyer.
Now your deputy general secretary is not a lawyer.
Please relax.
You don't even know the man.
Doctor, don't be doing this.
You don't even know Mustafa. You don't know him.
Benjamin. Please.
You don't even know Mustafa. You don't know him.
When he says all of these things, I'm shocked.
Please conclude.
You are distracting the program.
Who's distracting?
Keep quiet. Keep quiet.
You continue to.
There's the two of you, please.
Just keep quiet. So just keep quiet. You don't know the man. You are
please
just
you
are sitting on the national television like TV3 and you are turning out complete falsehoods. You don't even know the man.
Who said I don't? Mustafa Agbande is not a lawyer.
It's okay.
Where did he train?
Oh, where are you telling us?
Where did he train?
Your deputy general
secretary. Please.
Where did he train?
Move on.
So keep quiet.
Move on.
So Roland, you see, the issue is that the president has once again made sure that he obfuscates the matter so that investigative bodies will not go into the details of the issue so that Ghanaians will know the truth. I certainly am in no doubt that the president has everything to do with the guy. It is not just a coincidence. It's not just a coincidence. You mentioned to all of us that the guy is well connected.
Yes.
He has companies in Ghana. You know that he has about 2 companies in Ghana. And the companies operate in Ghana. So the president should come out and tell us that he doesn't know the guy. But the moment you start giving excuses that are dodgy, it's clearly out to you that you clearly have something to do with the guy. It's as simple as that.
All right. Okay, so let's get a last wrap up on this.
Right.
The reality is, if Al Jazeera doesn't apologize and retract, what happens?
What should I apologize?
Well, I'm saying that, Roland, like you are saying, the whole thing is, this same man in 2014 was arrested. He jumped bail, and was defended by Deputy General Secretary Mustafa Agbande of the NDC.
He says it's not true.
But I am saying that, see, this same guy, if he's not known to be notorious, if he's not known to be a criminal, even in the CID records, he jumped bail. So how do we take such a man serious when he's on documentary, bragging to people and all that? What we are saying is that President Akufo-Addo does not know anything about this thing. He is clean.
Sorry, is he not entitled to have counsel, irrespective of the fact
that... No, I don't have a problem with that.
So why...
I am trying to establish that Alistair is a criminal.
Just a minute.
He jumped bail in our country.
Just a minute.
Yes.
Does it matter whether it is the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC?
But
wait.
The man is not even a lawyer.
Okay, it's okay. So, you just hold on. I'll come to you. Please.
Yes, Roland. I'm saying that there are records.
Please end for me.
The Criminal Investigation Department of this country says that Aljazeera Matthias is a notorious one known to be jumping.
Well,
I'm
we've
known for
confirmed
jumping bail.
Mustafa Gbande is not a lawyer. My producer just confirmed.
So in
He's not a
2014,
lawyer.
when City FM is saying that he
not
was
a
defended
lawyer.
by the
He's not a
what do you
lawyer.
mean by that? Let me make
you
my
know the
let me go on and
It's
make my
okay,
assertion.
please.
Alistair Matthias, per the records of our criminal investigation department, was once arrested for fraud.
No,
He jumped bail.
We know that.
Yes.
Gold
So the very minute when you see a criminal, because in our records he's a criminal and was arrested, when he's caught on tape bragging to people, trying to deceive them. You understand? He's a criminal suspect, and what's in the whole thing? He jumped bail.
Okay.
That is established in our records here in Ghana. To what's in the whole thing? He's been caught on tape. Roland, what more can I say, lawyer, when I tell you that Alistair Matthias is a wanted man in Tanzania, is a wanted man in Kenya. Even in our records, he is a criminal that jumped bail.
Okay.
We need to be careful of such a man.
Okay.
So on video, he's not to be taken serious because he continues to brag to people to deceive them.
Roland, he has lied.
Oh, please. Please. Now, Mr. Jantwa, at what point can we say that if Al Jazeera doesn't retract and apologize, I mean, we can go on, maybe go to the courts internationally and go and sue them, etc.
Look, Roland,
or some other jurisdiction.
Roland, this is
because they're based in Qatar, right?
Roland, this is where our security agencies, unfortunately, are not working independently. Because the EOCOs of this world, the security agencies of this world, should quickly take this up and investigate it. Whether the president is guilty or innocent, it is up to them to investigate it. Forget who put you in power. And this is where some of us look at the Constitution and say some of these appointments shouldn't be made by the president, because you find it difficult as a security agency to take it on. They should take it on behalf of the people of Ghana and say, this is what they've accused our president of. We are taking it on and we are going to investigate to the bottom letter so that we can know the truth. And if it so happens that it comes out that what the president said, he's been economical with the truth, then we take it on. But, you know, it is you say, I say, you say, I say, you say, I say, you say, I say, does not help the situation. So I would ask the security services to take it up. The EOCOs of this world. We have security services who investigate quite a lot of things. Investigate it on behalf of the people of Ghana to get to the bottom of this. Otherwise, the way my two brothers are doing, it becomes politicized.
Because it's not political, it's about reputation,
It's
right?
about reputation, it's about truth. Look, $40 million a month is no mean money. If we can make $40 million a month in this country, do you know what that will do for us? Do we have to go to IMF? Especially when at this critical point, the country is collapsing and we need money. Come on. That should even be a basis for investigation. Even start from that point. That the man says he exports $40 million worth of gold every month. Start the investigation from that point and run it through so that we have the truth. The sad thing is the fact that it looks as if a lot of institutions and even the MPP party as the MPP party are scared of the president. So there are certain things they won't even touch with the barge pole.
Ideally, what should they be doing? Why are they scared of them? Why should they be scared of the president?
Don't you think a political party, accused, your leader has been accused of this thing, you would like to know the truth?
So what should they do?
They should go out and investigate it.
Or how?
Why? Why or how?
The man is a sitting president.
So?
Per our constitution.
So he's a sitting president. So the sitting president can't do wrong. What is that man talking about?
He's insulated from any form of prosecution.
No, I'm not saying they should prosecute him. Okay. The people of Ghana want to know the truth. Simple. Simplicity. It's the truth we are looking for. The president says he doesn't know, he hasn't represented the man, and he doesn't remember representing the man. The man says the president represents me. But most importantly, the man is smuggling $40 million worth of gold out of this country. And we are sitting and we are looking. And he said that we are not doing anything about it. No. And it shouldn't be one of the things that we are going to brush under the carpet. And then when election comes, we go and stand on the platform and talk when we haven't done our investigation to get the true answer.
So that's where we are. We need to get to it. Maybe get to Interpol and some of those ones.
Let them
not a green letter of retraction.
Not a green letter. The president should come out and say, we are going to investigate this, investigate to the bottom letter.
Right. Okay, Dr. Aye, let me give you 3 minutes, then we can go to the school feeding.
Roland, my brother Benjamin, on behalf of the MPP, has lied on this platform that the Deputy General Secretary... No. Keep quiet. Keep quiet.
Why do you always start with me?
Keep quiet. He has lied. Keep quiet.
He says he doesn't...
Keep quiet.
Don't start with me.
Keep quiet. He has lied. Are you the one to tell me where?
Please. Don't lose your cool.
So
your national team.
He has lied that the Deputy General Secretary is involved, that he's a lawyer. He's not a lawyer. On the basis of this, there is no way Ghanaians should take whatever he says serious.
Okay.
He doesn't even know his facts. He hasn't followed the issue. Keep quiet. Keep quiet.
What do you say about the CID?
Keep quiet. Keep quiet.
Dr.
Keep quiet. It is a fact that President Akufo-Addo knows the guy.
Oh, how?
There is no doubt.
Why? What no doubt. He says he doesn't know.
He knows.
It's a matter of contention.
His statement, the excuses he has made in his statement does not hold water. Nobody takes those excuses serious. And so he said
you cannot accuse somebody of knowing somebody when he says he doesn't.
I call on the special prosecutor and Yoko, which is being headed by our mother, Mami Tiwado Dankwa, to immediately commission an investigation into this matter. It is a serious matter against the integrity and image of the president. Ghanaians are interested. It is the activities of this man that had made sure that the Galamsey activities are festering in this country. Because Galamsey activity is an illegal activity. The only way they can sell their gold is to illegal people, like Alistair Matthias. And so we really must investigate this matter so that the issue of Galamsey can be curbed. It's an unfortunate happening, and we must not countenance it. We really, for this time around, we really have to investigate this matter. There are so many issues that we have left off the hook. But as for this matter, we will make sure that we follow this matter to its finality.
Okay. But we do know that as far as this is related, now the onus lies with Al Jazeera to look at the president's letter and then what he's asking of them to retract and apologize. Because in that documentary, Alistair Matthias makes revelations that, well, he knows the president is a lawyer. He's able to do all that based on the video. And then Al Jazeera onwardly also goes on to publish it. But they didn't do the publication until they had a reaction from the presidency and the president, whether he has encountered. And he said that he cannot recall encountering the gentleman. And so that means that he does not recall knowing the man. Well, but we also do know that school feeding...
Is that what it means?
What does it mean?
He didn't ask him whether he knows the man. He asked him whether he's represented the man before. He doesn't recall. Doesn't mean he doesn't know him.
But in the statement right now...
So you're saying that's the problem?
Yes.
Prempeh and Co affirm that they do not know him. They are not in his... They are not in the records.
That is on the case side. We're forgetting that there could have been some transaction between the two without the case side.
You are saying you are
There's a possibility.
So there's a possibility.
So there's still a cloud.
Exactly.
It's very murky.
You are working.
It's a very murky situation.
Exactly.
You are working in the law firm.
So he should
Please get the school feeding story ready.
The president should be able to tell us, I do not know this man.
Simplicity.
I do not know the name. I've never met this man.
In the statement, the Prempeh and Co have no association with the client.
Let's get